You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, then we'll call the meeting to order at the time of this 7:07. Now we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Yes, sir. Start with Mayor Ron Smith,
Here.
Molly Ann
Here.
Alex Bissett,
Here.
Bill Tyson.
Here.
Bobby Townsend.
Here.
Roger Whitley.
Here.
And Daniel Gritz.
Here.
Okay, that's good. And my report this month is very short because I was away the second half of December and there hasn't been a whole lot going on. I have talked with Mr. Armstrong from Southern Development. As most of you know or should know, the first home in our new neighborhood is under construction. They're still having some issues with Albemarle issuing some permits for some of the line and stuff like that. We can have, they've gone ahead and started the construction and they've opened the sales office across the street where the tackle shop used to be. We need to see Mr. James is here. We haven't had our board meeting for the chamber until tomorrow morning, so there's nothing other. He might have some report. Yes, ma'am.
I was just curious what you said about who moved into the tackle shop. Was that
Southern Development Sales.
Okay,
Office. Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
So that's we get a business, they have to get a business license. We get business from them too, man. It's good.
Yep, so that's basically all I have on my agenda. I'll let turn it over.
Mr. Mayor, one complaint I have related to your mayor's book report, you neglected to mention perhaps the most important part, which was, did you have a nice birthday?
Yeah, have a nice birthday.
Oh,
Yes, please.
we're all in trouble.
Won't have that many more, I'm sure. Well.
Oh, my.
Well, let's hope your optimism
There you
is.
go, Dan.
Never know.
Well, happy
Happy
birthday
birthday.
and thank you for, we hope you had a good
It was
birthday.
a nice day. We had our jam downstairs in the theater yesterday afternoon, had about 10 people there and playing music. Had a good 2 hours. The next play downstairs is in the initial stages. They had a meeting yesterday afternoon to have what they call their first reading of this next play. I have no idea what the name of it is, but they're working on that. And that's about it. Let's get into the meat of everything with Chief. Ask him to get his report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. First order of business would be for me to introduce our police officer, Eric Jacobson. Eric, come on up here and introduce yourself to the council. As each council member may know, the town of Scottsville has never sent a police officer to the police academy. Eric went to the police academy and was very successful there. Out of 52 recruits, finished up number 8 in the class, did very well.
That's great.
Week 5 of field training, is that right, or 4?
Week 4.
Week 4. So he's in field training right now. Brad is his field training officer, so as soon as he gets through all of the anchors that DCJS require us to cover and make sure that he's checked off on, Brad will give me an evaluation and let me know when he's ready to be cut loose on his own. But I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce Eric. He has found him a house, very close to town.
Yes. Jennifer, they were over there, so.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say, I'm Dan, we're just thankful to have you, and I will say, I've said this. I've told a story before one time when I got driving down the road 10, 15 years ago and mistakenly got involved with a domestic dispute trying to help somebody, and it was my reminder that I'm super thankful that y'all exist. And there's just so many needs. So thank you that you're coming to be a part of this community, and please, all of us are really happy to have you. So thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful that I was allowed to come here, coming down here from New York. I am a transplant, so I'm glad that I was welcomed. I have been by everybody I've met so far, and I look forward for any conversation I have with any of you moving forward. And if you need anything and see me, don't hesitate to ask.
One important question, are you a Bills fan?
I'm a Raiders fan,
Oh, okay.
so nobody likes me. Don't worry about it. I'm one of the few.
I would say this too, that, on graduation day, the chief and I, Mr. Payne, had an opportunity to meet, Eric's parents and family, and they are some super nice people. They came up, from Florida
Yeah, they were tired
to,
up.
attend the graduation, and we were so happy that they were able to do that. So if you need anything, you call anybody else.
It's greatly appreciated. Same goes to you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mr. Eric. You guys are good to go. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
by. We appreciate it.
They were ready for us to take out the echo and she got the best song and everything.
Thank you, guys.
No, thanks. I'm stuck my
Few calls for service, significant calls for service this past month. We conducted a traffic stop for suspicion of DUI. While on the stop, one of the officers witnessed the suspect two items out the passenger side window. When backup got there, 2 baggies of methamphetamine and a smoking pipe were discovered on the ground. Driver was charged with felony possession and several driving violations. We also took a report of a reckless driver. Was able to conduct a stop of the vehicle and found that the driver was intoxicated. Driver blew a .23, charged with DUI and held in jail until sober. We also, one morning, Brad and I were working overlap and attempted to stop a vehicle on Irish Road. The vehicle, like the driver, started to flee the scene, but he ended up cutting up one of the little side roads off of Robbins Point. We were able to get him stopped, and he was one of 3 different jurisdictions failing to appear in court. We assisted the Fluvanna Sheriff's Office with a domestic dispute out on Poplar Springs Road. It was resolved by the officers without any arrests. And then we took a report of an elderly person that had on-site referral of $2,000 for a roof replacement. Was able to speak to both parties, and the suspect has refunded as of today about $450 to the victim, and they've worked out a payment plan. So hopefully there will be no criminal charges coming out of that. We participated all day in the holiday happenings events here in the town, or community events. We also participated in the annual Shop with a Cop event hosted by Toyliv this past December. And we participated in the holiday play at the Scottsville Baptist Church with Phil David. That was fun. They gave me a couple lines I had to memorize. That was special. You can see our auxiliary officers donated 82.5 hours of their time to the police department in the town this past month. And what I like to try to do is to keep a running tally of the hours and the dollar figures that have been given back to the town. And you can see down here about $41,000 from January to December was contributed to the town police department by our auxiliary officers. Huge benefit to us, to the town, and I think they give a significant amount back to our community. Department news notified that we have been awarded the $20,320 for the drone replacement, grant. We have started the process, and the mayor actually signed the paperwork, and it was submitted for the grant folks to go ahead and do the finalization of the grant process. So we're having it built right now. And it's hoped that we will have that new drone in place hopefully by April, May. But this drone is American made. That's the purpose of the grant. But this one will have infrared, the FLIR on it. It will have a big spotlight that we can actually do searches for. And it'll have a microphone where you can actually talk to the person. It's pretty high speed piece of equipment. And we have to pay for it up front, but once we pay for it, the grant reimburses the town, cost us nothing. Let's see. We've, SVPD and the fire department and a number of our other community stakeholders have attended our first two meetings of the public safety work group at the fire department. And we also attended the Scottsville Fire Department's annual banquet. Stats, I think many of you all could see where we ended up for the year as far as calls for service and our stats for the year. Mr. Heisen had asked back a couple of meetings ago to try to get the increases and decreases in the calls for service. So our administrative sergeant did a 3-year comparison, and you can see the overall increased percentages and decreased percentages on the calls for service and the overall totals. Overall, even though we've been down a police officer, since late May, the town police department's handled right at 78% of all the calls for service in the town of Scottsville, and Albemarle PD officers have handled just right at about 22% of the calls for service in the town. And then you can look at the overall 3-year comparison where we are handling, between the three of us, about 86% of the calls for service, with the county handling about 14% of the calls for service in the town. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor, on my report. Any questions?
Questions for the chief?
No, I just wanted to comment that, the biggest increase is the noise. So I'm glad we're doing a noise ordinance. That's 300% increase.
Yes, sir.
So maybe that's good. We're tackling that.
Yeah. What did, I knew that's on June and 3 and I was there, but, who would be SB 12 and SB 14?
So John Ball is 12, they're auxiliary officers. That's right.
Okay, APO stands for auxiliary police officer, okay. No further questions for the chief?
Good job.
I do have one quick question. The noise ordinance, thank you for working on that. What were the basis of most of the were you just kind of letting them know about the noise ordinance and asking them not to make a lot of noise, or?
No, there's not a lot we can do or have been able to do up until we can get this ordinance. That's noise to a reasonable, and most of the time we get compliant. We never had any
Okay,
issues to where we would have to really charge someone. Talk to someone and
right,
tell them what the problem is, and most of the time they comply.
I'm sure they do. I just didn't know what was the most common, the
Loud
Kind of-
music.
loud music.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Seriously, thank you for the nice holiday dinner. It was a really great function, really good food, and got to see a lot of people in the city. Well, yes, sir. Thank you for the invitation.
You are welcome. Thank you to everyone that attended. That did go really well. Next year, if you don't have any plans around that, when we send out invitations, please do a Wahoo barbecue. Provide the food, and it was a smoked turkey and ribeyes. It was worth being there. So I did get a report together for our calls for the end of the year to show you difference in last year and 24 and 25. We're ending a old reporting system, starting a new. The old system has locked up, the new system won't let us enter anything, and so we're kind of stuck between the two right now and being able to pull information. So hopefully February I'll be able to give you a breakdown of what we ran the last 2 years and the difference in calls. Significant call for the month, or the end, right there at the end of December. We had a house fire up here on Dobby Creek, just outside of Scottsville, that displaced one family, total loss to the house. By the time fire units arrived on scene, it had smaller house, about 900 square feet, and it had already consumed 3 rooms. But we were able to get it knocked down pretty quick from where it was when we got there. There were no injuries to any of the fire guys. And like I said, one family was displaced and put in place with Red Cross. Numerous brush fires towards the end of the month and the beginning of January. We were seeing a pretty good increase across the county and the state due to the lack of rain. So with that, February comes the burn laws, which will come into effect February 15th. And I'll talk a little bit about that on the other side when we get to the committee that we're working with. But we're working on a public safety announcement that can go out from the town. And we'll work on that in just a second. But please, it is dry. Please remind people to be very careful what they're doing. And part of what we're going to work on on that committee is an ordinance for the town. And I'll remind me to come back to that. As far as the fire department, a new brush truck has been ordered. I think I gave that away last month, but the cab and chassis is on back order. We didn't find that out till a couple days ago. The body, as far as the back of it, the pump, the reels, most of the equipment is already here. So once the truck gets here, take a couple months to get it in service. So I would think September or October, Scottsville will have a new up-to-date brush truck. And we participated in the Christmas event. We brought Santa Claus downtown, and the fire pit was a success for everybody that was a part of that. We worked with, excuse me, I think we, no, regular. Worked with Jacqueline. I don't know Jacqueline's name.
Yeah.
Roman.
Got the fire pit approved. That seemed to be a big hit for all the kids and be able to keep people warm. So we'll be working with them on any events that they have. So on the work group that we started for public safety, we officially came up with a name, I guess, at our last meeting and voted on it. We will be the Town of Scottsville Public Safety Work Group, for anybody that's interested in the name. We finished the mission statement, thanks to Chief and Elizabeth and their hard work on putting together a statement for us. I will send that out to you guys, but it does read, our mission is to protect and strengthen the town of Scottsville by preparing for responding to all hazards and emergencies within the town. We set a 1-year goal, put those in place the other night. One is to get the all hazard plan out, and hopefully, knock on wood, if things go right, I would think we have a rough draft to no later than April. The flood plan part of it was kind of already in place, just needed some changing of words and updating. The all hazard part, we're finishing that up. We are working with several localities within the town for like a shelter of where we would send people. I won't give those away yet because we haven't finished talking to everybody that has communicated with us they would be interested. Working with James on strengthening communications with the residents and the businesses and looking for potential people to train for the pump house in the event of flooding emergencies. And there's many other emergencies happening at the time. And then we want to develop, we're obviously on the police side, they're working on an ordinance through you guys. And then I want to put one on your radar to start thinking about. There is no technical burn ordinance for the town. So if Walter was a resident and he went out behind his house and just randomly started burning stuff, we can, as the fire department, go up and ask them to put it out. But I really don't have any teeth to an ordinance. Now, we can revert back to our county's burn laws and burn rules. And if we did that, there's really no place in the town that anybody would be able to burn anything due to the width of being from a wood line or any structure. So we're going to work on that. We're going to put something before you guys to look at, that you put your input into it as to how you think it should go. And then we want to put an ordinance together for burning within the town. And that would go from campfires to being able to burn anything. Well, not anything. In fact, as far as Albemarle County, the only thing that you can technically burn is anything that is stackable brush, meaning by your hand. If you have to use a tractor, then it has to have a permit. And then if it has any plastics or any of that type of material in it, it cannot be burned at all. So we'll work with that, get that to you guys, let you look at it, see what you guys think about it, and then add that into what we're working on. And then I think that was about all
Chief,
we're
let me ask you a question about that as somebody who burns.
Yep.
Do you, or do they sometimes specify either wind conditions or humidity, those kind of things? I know, like for me, you don't want it windy.
Right.
I like it when it's wet. So is it, sometimes they say, I know when you look at the county stuff, it doesn't say something like that, but is that something you can say?
So we can get a little more in depth with it. So the forestry department will start probably because things are so dry. Normally they wait until the burn laws come into effect in February. So what happens in February is it's usually windy, especially as we get into March, and the humidity is very low. So when it's dry and we have low humidity, we get fast moving fire on anything. And so the burn laws for the state are like February 15th to April 15th. So in that time frame, you're not allowed to burn anything unless it is in a stackable pile. You have a permit for it, or you can burn a pile that you have a permit for, but you can only add stuff on it from 4 p.m. to midnight. At midnight, you can't add anything else to it. Whatever burns, and you can start the next day.
Mhm.
So we're gonna put all that onto something that'll go out to the area that we can, whether it's electronic or a piece of paper that we put up somewhere. And then forestry has what's called red days, yellow days, and green days. Green days are normal, winds down, humidity's up. Yellow, you got a little bit wind, humidity starts to drop, and then red days, there's no burning at all. There's zero burning. And those are the days that are dangerous for us because you get explosive fire, usually have some wind behind it, and it makes for an interesting
The
day.
one thing I would say too, just from a practical level, I learned myself many years ago, just the dryness of like a February, March stuff, like just seeing that what a wind can do at hitting something. But we've had issues before where people, I mean, again, I'll say as a burner, understanding under there is an education process
Yes,
to
sir.
it. Like you really need to understand when you really need those codes can make a difference too.
Yep.
And I know where we have some land in West Virginia this last year, it was extremely dry over there, like really dangerously, much more than here. And so as we adjust into how, I think that's a helpful education that we could also do
Okay,
to help.
absolutely. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor, unless anybody's got any questions.
Any questions for the chief? No, we had a fair amount of rain Saturday, and I know it didn't do a whole lot to get the ground too moist, but is there any, not any, anything coming from up the river this way that's gonna cause the problems at the moment?
Not right now.
Okay.
Nothing forecasted either, so we're doing pretty good right there. Although we need some rain in the river. I don't know if you guys noticed that it's down. That's pretty rough.
I actually do have a question. Have you all bandied around ideas of how to communicate stuff to the townspeople? Do you
So
have a listing or?
we are working with the committee. There used to be, the town used to have it was through Nelson Cable. I don't know if you guys still have that anymore.
It is still around.
Right. Pretty much, yeah. That
Yeah.
used to be the, if you will, the public part of where we would put stuff on and flash it out there. So we're gonna get kind of creative in the next meeting and try to figure out what's the best way. Obviously, social media is a big thing. People follow Facebook, and being able to keep that stuff updated on those sites. And that, like Mr. Crisco was saying, we can put the ordinances on there. We can put burn laws. We can update when it's a red day, those kind of things, and try to make it a little safer.
I'm just wondering if you all have access to any kind of database that you're able to use for communication that you would be able to give, town safety information to the public. Like if Albemarle County had something, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you all can do that legally. I'm just wondering if there's
Okay.
a list for stuff like that, because it is a really hard issue. And we've all been trying to solve it for a long time.
I wonder if Albemarle.
You could send a mailer out to all the residents in the town of Scottsville and nearby and ask them if they would be interested in doing that. If they wanted to, they could fill out, send in an email, we could put them on an email list or a number for a text message group, you know. So if there was someone willing to donate some time, they could go on the website and say, okay, you know, that's what that
I
day.
think that's great. I think that, you know, it's hard to get these lists and be able to use them for anything other than that. But to start a town, you know, list that's voluntary from the user, it would be really, really great to continue with that. I've been wanting to do that. After Javier left, that kind of got halted. But if you all were, please share, is all I'm saying.
Well,
no,
that's
that's
why
what we're
we
doing.
have James on the work group with us.
No, good.
Everything.
He's our
Yeah.
best contact
I
with
just
our
think
business
it's-
owners.
Yeah, I think it would be great to get the community involved in all of these kinds of safety issues. So I'm glad you all worked on it.
One thing I was gonna say too, I just noticed the town that we spend time at over near is in Franklin, West Virginia, but I just noticed recently there was a Facebook page that they do that has weather stuff in that area, like it's wind stuff, or it could be snow. Again, I don't know.
We used to have that, didn't we?
Well, I mean, there's some level to what some stuff Jack may have done in the past, but
Oh.
this is a little bit more comprehensive. And I'm not saying I want to, there's a level of it. And I don't know, you know, it could involve state police or whoever, or the county, but there is a sense where maybe some level of that could be helpful too.
Okay.
Again, they had their own thing, so I'm going to use that more as a resource over there. But it might be a way that people know to go here. They're like, hey, if you want
Yeah.
to see,
To go and get
That's a good
information.
Yeah.
idea. Mhm.
Yep, and we can put that in the flyers and stuff to go out to say, hey, this website will update
Chief,
more information. Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna tell you, I've been in touch with a company called Text My Gov. And I've actually only had one meeting about it, so I don't have a lot of information, but that would be a way for us to communicate emergency situations, non-emergency situations, whether all of it. And I was hoping to have a conversation with Chief Pursley, Chief Jenkins, and other people, but it would be kind of an umbrella, like you're saying, so that.
Yeah,
And they actually do have their own database, and it's actually through the USPS. So she said 50, between 40 to 60% of all of our town's residents are already on that database.
that's amazing. Good.
So,
Good,
and
good.
then you would be able to also sign up for alerts specific to different departments. So
Gotcha.
I would really like to know, fire updates, or I would really like to know traffic updates. As each individual subscriber.
So when you said non-emergency, are we able to send information about group? Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's a little more official, but like if we had an event. Okay,
So that's, yeah, so, but the emergency ones would have to get through FEMA, you can put in your like, word that you're hoping to get to the portal. And then, they'll approve it or not, but
that's really
like
great.
I said, I only had one meeting with the girl, and I don't have huge information yet.
Okay.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
But
great.
that way, yeah, and that would, again, it would be applicable to many departments, instead of just town council meetings are on this day, or, it
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gas leak on Irish,
Right, that's really great.
So I can set up a meeting with you, and if Chief wants to, we can sit down and talk to him and
yes.
see what we come up with.
Oh, and we had, so also we had a different option, so. We're looking at different options for websites as well, and one of our website platforms that we're fielding. Has emergent and non-emergent notifications on that website platform, so like a ticker. So there's a lot of different options right now.
Good.
And we're figuring it out, one by one.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir.
That's all I got.
Okay, any questions for the chief? Thank you for all you do over there.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it. Well, Mr. Bowling, any words of wisdom at this point in time?
I think I've given you all kind of little words of wisdom.
We were having a chat this afternoon about if public notices and being published in the paper, and the paper doesn't offer a phone number.
Oh, but I was actually able to find their, so within the website, so yes, I was not able to find an actual human to speak to. But, on their public notices portion of their website, they have that, and then they have their, notification calendar, so that I can very quickly, because the question is if we're required to publish it 2 weeks before this date. I was trying to figure out, well, which days are they publishing, because they're not publishing every, right? Yeah, so it's only twice a week or whatever.
I just feel like, that's a really great resource, but how many people are getting notifications from the newspaper?
No, yeah.
I mean, even in
exactly.
this
So they're-
room.
And they're not even.
And I think that
We
list
have to-
could come in handy for that.
Yeah,
You know?
subscribe, just to be able to click on anything on the website. You can't even try it, so.
Yeah.
Website platform that isn't the other one that we're thinking about. This Text My Gov company offers a widget that you place on your website, no matter which platform it is. And all you do, as anybody who comes to our website, you just type in your phone number, and you don't have to, you don't have to type in, your phone, your name or any other information. You just put your phone number in there and say you're signing up. So it's very user friendly, especially for people who are less technologically savvy.
That's really great news. Thank you for sharing that.
Further to say, I believe with the Daily Progress, the newspaper here in Charlottesville, that when you pay to advertise with them, they also will put it on an electronic version.
Mhm.
Because I think you could probably know this better than I do. When they changed it in 2025, that you could actually post things electronically and not send it to the newspaper, but it happened to be so many.
Yeah, that's it, only about this, there's at least one other paper that's approved for electronic publication, which is substantially cheaper than the Daily Progress.
Is that Seville tomorrow or?
I don't know, I remember I looked at it several months ago, but when we looked at it again today, it was where we have a deadline.
Yeah.
We have to meet for the next meeting.
Seville tomorrow does a better job covering
And they also-
local.
Buckingham yesterday.
Yeah, something like that. Why not? Is there a paper in Buckingham?
Mhm. Yeah.
The rural observer that you get at the dollar holler.
The rural Virginia. Yeah.
Alright, so anyway, we're trying to.
Well, that is a huge question mark for a lot of groups, a lot of, people who've been involved in things. So that kills a lot of birds with one stone.
Yeah.
There it is, just.
Thank you. Town administrator, do you have anything other than what's listed under staff presentations?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll skip on down to the committee reports and see if they are.
Did I ask a question
But
about the town administrator?
she's not giving any report.
I know, but I mean, it's just I wrote
Got
something.
something to say.
I wrote something today about, and maybe you can kind of go over it, how do we get something on the agenda for the work session for the town council? Because I wrote about 3 weeks ago about getting something on and they're not on here. And can they get on next week? Is it too late to get them on for next week? Because
The agenda has not come out for next week.
okay, so I could send you those again that I put out. They were basically the levy, the Caldwell fund and maintenance. So anyway, I'll write you that again, but how do we add to the agenda? I mean, you want those things about 2 weeks ahead of time, right?
No, it's like
4 days.
4 days, but I sent it at least 3 weeks ago. So anyway, I'll write you what those are, and I'd like to discuss those and maybe even vote on some of them, or at least find out more information about.
You came in on Monday, we talked, and you gave me a whole list of maintenance issues, so I thought that was.
Well, that was different than the levy and the Caldwell fund, which I brought up a couple of weeks ago, and that's been on the the levy is really important, and I do think we need to figure out how we're going to do that and get an update about that from the county, who said they would pay for that or could pay for that, and I'd like to get an update on if they're still interested in that. Otherwise, how are we gonna pay for that?
What's the deadline for the levy improvements, because that's tied to your,
I don't know.
certification from FEMA and,
I don't
Corps of
know. She would
Engineers, and
know.
that in turn is tied to the ability of everybody in town to get, mortgage they can afford without having to buy flood insurance.
Right, right.
So
But
that's pretty important.
Well, I agree, and the county supervisor said they thought they could get the money this year, both from, more money from the county.
Yeah, that was a little bit more the
Yeah,
point.
exactly. They're willing to do that.
They're, well into their cycles.
Right, well, they're just starting it, but they're not into it yet. They're just starting, and I think we
We
could.
started last,
Right.
they have started.
Right, and I think we could put,
Okay.
well, that's why I was asking, can we put the word, can we get on them a little bit and talk to the supervisor? Is that still on the agenda? Can you help us? Talk to Tim Carr, he said we don't need 80,000, we could just do it in spurts when we do 50,000.
We could do it in 2 years.
Yeah, right, and I think
But we
if
have a
if
plan.
the county could pony up a little bit more. And
So-
for their budget, we could do that.
So how do you want to get on the attention of the board of supervisors?
Well,
Because
Elizabeth said she was gonna do
So-
that. I asked and she said
it did right.
she wanted to be the.
So mine,
spokesperson.
mine is the next one up here, but I was saying, no, I want to resign from the ARB so I can pursue that and be a base for the town
That would
at their
be great.
meetings
That would
and be
great.
like
Could
more
we-
involved with them and at least be annoying enough to get
Right.
a response from them because I know
We need to
emails are
voice-
easy
we need
to
voice the county.
deflect, but I want to be able to.
Because the
That's great.
supervisor hasn't
that's
gotten back
very
to me.
That is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I want to be there in person.
Well, it's too late, just to vote. I can hear it coming.
That's what they said last year.
Okay,
This year,
well-
they said, he said this, he wrote a letter. He said, we can get it on the agenda for this year.
Yeah, but it's not, I haven't seen, we gotta get it on the agenda.
Yeah, yeah,
Nobody seems to be listening.
yeah. But there, I mean.
But she did write to,
Right, but we haven't got I don't think we've got a response since. August.
yeah, I haven't
Have we
seen
gotten any-
anything.
Have we gotten anything new from that?
I've had a conversation with,
Well, that's what I want to talk, yeah. Okay.
Mr. Pruitt.
Uh-huh.
I had it on schedule for last time and I don't know what happened with the meeting, but I never talked about it.
I agree. There were a couple of things that were skipped in the meeting.
Well,
Is
share
that
that.
correct?
Yes, they were.
Mm-hmm.
You could share with us now.
well, she found a pair to see that from him,
me
yeah.
about the conversation, but yes,
Well, did he say that there might be some money for us or
no,
no?
he didn't definitely say no, but, I mean, this is definitely off the top of my head. He did say that, we could still pursue something that they hadn't, completed their budget, that they were starting, like, Mr. Bowler just said, that they were into doing that. They did say that they were disappointed in, the town because they didn't feel like, the town was developing as much as they wanted, and he was explaining to me that the water and the sewer infrastructure is in place, and when they built it, they built it with like more capacity, and the town currently isn't at more capacity. And he also said that Avon Charlottesville is like running out of room to expand, so they're looking to expand and
It's a
just.
separate issue.
Well, we've had some,
That, and
yeah.
said that, they really wanted more development here,
Mhm.
and so,
I asked them in the meeting if they would give us more support if we developed the town,
Yeah.
and they said without any ifs, ands, or buts, no, they wouldn't do that. So
Development's up by AstraZeneca now. I mean,
so,
that's where they,
he's talking about Prose, and I'm like, well, I don't think that the town wants anything like Prose. And, so then I said, so basically you want us to increase our building here, so then you can.
Did you say, okay,
tax
no problem.
on our real estate tax. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
somehow you were talking about a levy. That seemed like a separate.
Yeah, let's just stick with the levy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he got into that one. Yeah,
Oh, because somebody asked.
no.
It's getting into control. What's the cost of the thing, like $90,000?
Yeah.
87,000, so it's half of that is 45,000. So, and it's missed amount in the general contribution, compared to what's there to Prose. And all you have to do is look at contribution that the police knows.
Yeah.
And how much money, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, not having to put extra officers down here and so forth. And you got something you can teach your more about.
I mean, we talked for a while and I talked about that too.
Yeah. It's just, somebody just needs to make an ask.
Well, did you all get the whole thing about how the comp plan, they just finished their AC 44? Their new comp plan is called AC 44. You all know that. But they designated our area as a growth area, and we had to ask them to take it out because we had not pronounced that ourselves. You know, we haven't, it's up to the town to make that pronouncement. And then Albemarle County can say, okay, here we have a growth area. But we're not doing it to promise more growth. We're doing it to get more grant opportunities like from VDOT. So it's kind of like they were trying to pronounce that in their comp plan when it's not even set in place yet. So I think they do have plans. And
Well, if they do, they ought to pony up for the levy.
they really should. And why are we taking care of the levy?
36,000, that's
I would argue that levy's completely separate.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it is. But why
There's
are
no
we
conditions.
taking care of it?
Yeah.
Why are we taking care of
Because
it?
you're the town of Scottsville.
Yeah, we
It's our
are.
levy.
Responsibility.
It's not the Army Corps of Engineers, it's our
I
levy,
feel it's more.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
All right,
We
Well, I
need to,
don't
we need
think
to
so.
twist our arm and then, you know.
Yep.
I don't
Have
mean
a
to
big
get
base
on
on there.
but it seems like nothing's happening, and all of a sudden you'll be getting into the Commonwealth Fund to pay for this.
Mhm.
What it's gonna-
Well, would a resolution or
And then reimburse it.
phone calls or letters or whatever go work, you know, from the.
Appoint somebody to appoint somebody I mean, I just heard everybody
All right,
appoint himself.
there it is. There it is.
Go get them, Alex.
Make it happen. They got, I'll help if you need help. I'll go
Bill,
with you.
I need your help.
Meeting or whatever.
And who should,
I'll go through Pruitt.
you know, and he'll put you in touch with the appropriate county executive person, that's the key.
I'm gonna go to his campaign manager first.
Okay.
He's running for Senate this week. We'll give him a black eye
Yeah.
before Congress.
Yeah, that ain't wasting the money. Take the money from that and
Meeting.
fix the levy, done something.
Outside of meeting, having a one-on-one with him, the only way that we have been able as volunteers to get in front of them, because we get ignored the same way that the town does. And you're pushed to the side, is to go to a board of supervisors meeting
Yeah.
where there is a public forum, sign up for it, have a speaker, have several speakers. The fire department will certainly go and back you with that and speak. And we talk about the levy and the funding that we need for it and the lack of support that we have gotten and why the importance of the levy is there. You tend to get more people on board. People in the crowd will stand up, and it tends to sometimes get their attention also,
That's
especially when you put them on the spot.
That's good.
yeah,
Good.
great.
Are you gonna get your gumption up
Well, I've always got my gum.
and get your people listening to you? That's
We're gonna
good.
try.
I know.
We'll
I know.
see.
That's really great.
Okay, well, we'll ask Mr. Bissett to be the town representative for levy maintenance and improvements.
Woo.
Sounds like a fun
Thanks,
time.
Alan.
When you go and have that public forum, do you want us to go and speak?
Yeah.
I would appreciate that, yeah.
Got your
Yeah,
back.
we can go deep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
Don't discourage him yet. Come on.
We did bring this up last year too.
Pushback of the ARV, you got anything?
Oh, I don't think I do. Somebody else can have fun with the ARB.
No one else
Well,
wants to have.
Well, can I ask, what's the latest on the Mason building? Are they good to go? Are they still got no stuff, no
No,
stop
stop
work?
work for upstairs and downstairs for his apartments,
Yeah,
as far
because
as I
they
know.
haven't reapplied or?
I think, Ms. Angevine will have, is that part of your report?
They wanna put apartments downstairs.
Oh, okay, so-
Mr. Schmidt was here.
Yes, I will report on that when
Okay.
it's my turn.
Okay,
If
good.
there's nothing further from ARB, then we'll move on to planning commission.
All right, let's see. During the meeting, we did talk to Taylor Schmidt. And we let him know that the plan that we all agreed to was fine. And that is having 2 upstairs and 1 downstairs in the back. The front would be a commercial space. So it's kind of the best of both worlds because you can have that extra unit there, and we will have a storefront to, continue the live journey of all the good things going on downtown. So
That was what his original special use permit called for, wasn't it?
I thought it was 2 units downstairs and 2
Well,
units.
There's 2 up and 1 down with commercial.
Okay, well, yes, then
Well,
that is exactly.
Since he hadn't acted on that, just, he need to have another, special use permit issued.
We were actually
Yes, that was when
talking,
it expired. It was never acted upon, so it expired.
yes, that did expire. I'll have to ask about that, but we talked to him about setting the public meeting, the hearing. So, I think that he was supposed to put together an SUP for that. We have a special meeting coming up on the 20th, and we will probably talk about it that time as well. But I'm not sure whether it's on the agenda or needs to be on the agenda, but, yeah, he is moving forward. We're ready to agree with that. And but we have the public hearing. So,
I just curious, so
We have a new SUP application from him, Nancy Gill says.
oh, okay. Thanks, Nancy.
did he,
And you're the person I was gonna talk to.
did they say what the front of the building would be? Or, no, they could have an apartment in the back of the front of the building, can that be, what would that be?
That would be, the front of the building downstairs
Yeah.
would be, commercial.
Commercial, okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
And so that stays with our
Yeah. that makes sense.
intention to
That's-
have
yeah.
commercial in the downstairs.
Sounds good.
So it was a good compromise. Nancy worked with him and they all came to an agreement, so
That's great.
it's really good. All right, let's see, what else? We discussed the comprehensive plan. It's done, okay, it's done. We had to go through a couple of things. I was talking with Chief Sursley the other day about making sure of some language. We're doing that with a couple of different parties, so we're done.
Did
It
we all
just
get a copy?
means,
We all get a copy?
yeah, it's not done right this second,
Oh, it's about to be done.
but we'll have.
Next year it'll be done, right?
I hope next year.
No, it's done, but it's not. Can
No, it is done. I'm just trying to say, it's done.
it be posted online?
Yeah, I think that,
Put it online.
right, right. And
'Cause
that,
It's gonna be needed.
well, I probably should have talked to them about this the last meeting, earlier this month, because, that is the question. Can we put it online as a draft? We're gonna have
I
to,
wanted it for years.
yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So, if they agree, that's what we'll do. Thank you. No, I'm not done. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, we talked with a nice young woman who has access to land that's next to the scan land. And she is interested in putting together a kind of adventure, company. She would be, right beside the Van Cleve area and then also by Scan. And so Scan is talking to her about a collaboration. And she's not ready to do it yet, but she decided to come and see what we thought and what advice she could get for preparing for that. So it was really great. And she did a really great job. So they're working on that. They had Luke DuPont came by and he's the environmental guy, so he came and looked at, she's got a pond on her location. And so they talked about things she could and couldn't do with that body of water. She was hoping to kind of expand it. That may not work, but she's still working to make it a great thing, so. All right, that's all I got.
Well, and that's you, but can we post, there's a vacancy, right?
For the planning commission, yeah.
Shouldn't that be posted right away? I mean, it's been over a month, that's been open, so it seems like that should take place immediately.
I think Nancy's been putting out feelers just because
I know,
we
but
want to talk.
We should put some on a bullet board and then website, like we
Okay.
usually do.
Okay.
Get going on this.
Are you
This-
asking me to do that?
No,
I can do
yeah.
that.
No, I think the town administrator should do that. Put
Okay.
something on the bulletin board. Put something on the bulletin board and.
Oh,
Put something on the bulletin board too, because I don't think people go online, as a, websites, marginal right now. But I think both, I think it needs to be both.
Okay. Did you have some considerations?
I don't know anybody, but I think the word needs to get out, because
We need
we
volunteers.
need volunteers in a lot of things, we could use
Yeah,
we could use a few openings in some of our.
because we just lost another one.
I know.
I mean, to good use,
Yeah.
but
We
yeah,
need
it's gonna be,
increase
these
the-
conversations are gonna have to be a little more insistent. Because we do need people
That's
to
great.
come and help us. But anyway, we're working on it as well, so.
Ms. Santivine, I just wanted to add, Nancy Gill is on the chat and she said the majority of the ponds on scan land, and then she says.
Oh.
We have a special meeting next Tuesday, after this meeting, they will push it out. That's, the comp plan.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
so she was kind of confirming that she
Yes.
would be putting it online.
yep,
Okay, well, we're having a special meeting on the 20th
Yep.
to finalize everything. And then the public hearing is on the 2nd, is that correct, of February? Whatever our meeting date is, I think it's the
tentative is February 2nd.
Nancy, thank you for being here, honey. No,
No,
oh, Lincoln. Yeah,
anyway, next
so-
time I'll have all of this up there so you guys can read it. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Government service.
Well, government service met, and I sent the minutes, so everybody knows.
Thank you for doing that.
We do need we don't need one, but if somebody's interested, we could use another member. The one of them hasn't shown up for 3 or 4 meetings, and I'd like to get 4 or 5 on there with, one of the things that's come up, and I could submit this next week. I'm not sure if the town has a policy on how to get grants, but I was on a Zoom last week, and we could get as much as $30,000 for the bathroom. And the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank has been really generous with the town over the years. A couple of years ago, they fully redid the parking lot at the farmer's market. Last year, the year before, they did all the potholes there, right there. And there's a possibility, I would have to get some bids, but we could get money either for a quick fix or a long fix. We could get, probably heat lamps and tape, to keep the water going year round. Or we could just insulate the whole building. But I'd have to see what's available, but they do have pretty good grant money. That's one thing, food pantries, since they're non-political, they got a lot of money. You go to the food line or whatever, they're always saying, you want to give to the food pantry, but they got a lot of money. We could probably make the bathrooms, and I could submit this next week. I got to talk to them, but we could probably get money to make it like Almar's. And, Almar does have their bathroom. It wasn't always like that, but their bathroom is, in the park there is frost-proof. And, we use the bathrooms. There's a temporary one right there, right now, left over from the event, but that's not gonna be there long. So we could get it so volunteers who work with the food pantry could just go into the bathroom and continue volunteer. They don't have to walk 100 yards, and a lot of them are elderly. I just think it makes sense to try to get those, if we got free money to
Yeah,
make
that's
those,
great.
make those. So anyway, I don't
You
know.
write this
I
yourself?
don't know if we have to go, we have to have a vote on that or whatever. Did you have a vote for your? Okay, we did have, I don't think there was a vote for the,
I think if you.
for the
get
farmer's
vote,
market. I
there's a
don't,
vote.
when they got their lights, I don't think we voted on it, it just happened, but we could, I'll submit it.
I don't
And
think
then
we
we'd have
need
to see if we
vote
could-
on whether you can apply for the money.
Right, no, but I mean, if the town's okay with getting a grant. for
It's
that-
not,
Yeah.
it's not so much a vote as it's more of a show of
Approval
confidence.
of
Yeah, like
pursuing
we
it,
support
pursuing
the
it.
idea.
I
Yeah.
support it.
But to me, any grant we can get.
Well, are
try
you
to-
writing the grant yourself?
No, they will write the grant, but we don't.
Nice, okay.
That's what they did. Well, I did, I mean, in a way, well, we didn't write the last two, we just kind of submitted and worked with them.
Information.
And
Mhm.
there is a grant, but it's a real simple process. You just say, what do you want?
Fantastic.
We got carts.
That's how they all should be.
We got carts last year and we got shelves and stuff like that. So they're pretty good.
Well, I
There's a
think
lot of
that's
food
great.
pantries out there. Yeah, so anyway,
I mean, that's the
I'll find out
solution.
I'll find out more next week.
Yeah, that's the solution, is
Oh,
to
yeah.
come up with a way to do it without, you know.
I think we might, I don't,
Yeah.
you know, going back to grants, you know, if we don't get this thing from Albemarle, there might be a way we could get a grant for this,
Yeah,
levy.
well.
Like
from
that work, or maybe, I mean, it's only 80,000, I mean, or some of the businesses like the market or something, we would think they'd have some sort of grants they would, you know, or maybe the Chamber of Commerce could come up with some ideas about getting some money for,
Sure.
you know, this is protecting the whole town, so. And maybe a GoFundMe account, I mean, I'll chip in for a levy, you know.
Right, all right.
Maybe I'll, man, not that much, I'll get 5.
It reminds me of something I wanted to mention to you and to everyone here. I know that there's been some controversy about the shed up in the woods and stuff like that, and having to get permission to go up there seems a little ridiculous, but I understand the reasons for it. I just think that this should be a situation where we all say, I'm totally game to go up there and organize
Yeah, me too.
that shed.
Well,
All of us get together and go and do it. I just think it's really important. I don't know why everyone thinks that Jam can do everything in the world. His job is really hard, and all of us are doing multiple jobs at one time to make the town go together. I just think it's important that we start thinking about attacking these problems with our own interest. And if you don't want to join, you don't want to join. We do have access to volunteers.
We have 3 or 4 volunteers who take 2 hours.
So I think it's important to work together and on that. So that's all I wanted to say.
It's also an off-site location, and also there's a tower right there, and for the people that work on the tower, they have to have 24/7 access.
Yeah.
So that's the last thing you want to do, is have people up there and everything, so yeah. I mean,
Those people at the tower have done a good job of cleaning their area up. But a lot of that area is
so
this town. It's just
it'd
been.
be one thing if right over here where everybody can see it, but it is out of the way, but you know, it's just,
Yeah. and
we're
I
gonna
was-
have,
But it's solving the problem. That's
Speaking
what
from
you
my
want to do, solve the
standpoint,
problem.
we're gonna have to pick and choose what we want. I mean, I know that we all want a lot of different things, but sometimes we can't have everything we want.
What do you
We got to
mean?
pick and choose our battles and whatever, and also, I mean, you know, we
Like
got.
what we can fix and what we can't fix in the town.
It's
So
also-
my suggestion was off base.
No, I don't know what you play, what you mean.
The other thing I wanted to ask, when you were referring to the farmer's market, you talk about down here, the pavilion that we were talking about?
About what? What
The
part?
water.
When you were talking about the
bath.
farmer's
Yeah,
market.
the bathroom's out here.
Right, okay. You also mentioned, we had to work done to the parking lot and the area around it.
Not the farmer's market, the parking lot, what they need lines on the parking lot, in the town parking lot down here. They did half of it. They put maybe parking over at the Canal Basin Square. The lines there are, you can't even see them where the parking is there.
Well, my recommendation is because, the Canal Basin Square is shared with the business right beside it. And the pavilion is also shared with the tavern restaurant. There's a lot of, a majority of having patron park over there at the pavilion. It would not hurt to sit there and say, hey, you know, you use that parking lot a lot, we would like to see
That's- yeah.
a donation or a contribution on your part. Your business is, your business depends on our parking spot. Give or take a little
Yeah,
bit.
they do use-
Same thing for the doctor's office down there. Their patrons pull it in there, with making the lines go away.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
I understand looking at grants to help fix things, but there are also other ways to get money fixed. I mean,
That's good.
sometimes
Businesses, yeah.
we can just start small, work that way.
Okay, let's move on. Parks and Rec.
We did not meet this month. We met last month. But you know, going back to the Parks and Rec, they've done a lot of volunteer work themselves. So that's pretty good. And pretty much the maintenance person doesn't have to mess with the parks right now.
Thank you.
Except at the shed.
Mentioned, James, that we have a board meeting in the morning. Do you have anything you need to add or?
Yeah, I think I missed the December meeting. I don't know if Pat made it or not. But I just wanted to touch base on the holiday hat event. I thought it was a great success, great improvement. Thanks mainly to Ben and Jacqueline Roman,
Yeah.
who are now new Chamber of Commerce. They're on the board anyway, a director to be specific. But part of that was they raised enough funds and donations from sponsors and businesses to buy a town Christmas tree. In the past, I don't know if Elizabeth would remember because she wasn't here, but that was I would say a time suck for Javier and the maintenance personnel to go find one, source one, get it, put it up. And then the money wasn't that much, but it was a day they weren't doing other tasks. And then so we donated that, paid for by local businesses, and moving forward, we have a nice 16-foot tree to use year after year, and
Those are some crazy lights on there too.
they're hung with love. I'll say that.
No, that's great. That's great. It was just so many and so timed and all that kind of stuff when they blinked and I was like, that's not our usual town tree.
No, it's a little bit bigger.
But it was awesome.
I've had a couple of downfalls with the winds. If you're not super impressed with Mother Nature's regular
Right.
trees,
Yeah.
it's toppled twice. Once we secured the base, and then we had high enough wind where the metal pole actually bent a 90-degree angle.
Oh, wow.
So we'll be employing structural steel to reinforce it, and it's
Very
suitable for a month or two. But such goes.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we are meeting and doing something that in my tenure we haven't done before is set a yearly calendar. Like I know in my head when the next event is coming, but if we can set a calendar for all of our events and get a budget allocated to those events, we'll know better more what we can do with in collaboration with the town. And that's going to be our big winter push for that.
Well, the trees, are you gonna store them in the packet book?
They are stored in the.
Is that what's gonna be?
Well, it was
Is that
only
what
one that the chamber bought. The other ones that were on the little boats
They're
were
gonna be
actually
stored
their personal trees.
You're around in that. That's a good thing.
That's one February for the first planning meeting.
Yes. Yes, I did. I think that's all we got for now. I know Scan's not here, but they are having their first Fridays. That's the thing I know about coming up. So the next one is February 6th.
That's a great one.
Yeah, at the gallery, first Fridays at the gallery is always good.
Any questions? Thank you, James.
Thanks.
See you in the morning.
That's right.
Okay, town treasurer, do you have anything that you want to bring forward at this point?
You wanna hear what I have to say now, or do you wanna wait until I give my whole, your.
Whatever works best for you,
I'm sorry.
whatever works best for you.
So. In the town administrative report, I was talking about the people's tax enforcement and collection. Just to tell you that, our efforts continue to progress, towards, more collection. December 12th, delinquent notices were sent to multiple businesses, that were several months behind on payments. And written guidance has been, provided from the town attorney on appropriate enforcement tools on the delinquent accounts. You might remember that we spoke of this last, month of December, and I took that to the report that I had provided because it had a name on there, so this time it does not have a name on there. That business actually did come in, this past week and provided the $2,000 partial payment. But they're still pretty delinquent. It was, I have, sent a request, a FOIA request back in, I think it was December 12th to the Department of Taxation because I wanted to see if they're being honest and what their total sales are. And anyway, they responded with me, twice now, and the last time, this was last week. The chief and I, and this past week, regarding this. So that's one thing, the default tax updates enforcement along the same lines, the meal tax. The default we've also been going through, we've updated 3 different forms, new form for businesses to fill out. And then there's a document that explains what you need to pay for default, and the new businesses, the first year starting out, there's a $35 charge. And then beyond that, it is based upon your gross sales. And we're also finding that people were not paying that, they were just paying the flat fee, although they've been in business for years. So I came up with a document that I think explains it pretty clearly, what is required. So I've done a
it's kind of a flow chart. So if this is your business, then go to this.
Yeah,
Very,
that's great.
that letter I want to send out to all the businesses. And another thing, we just I've heard from a couple different people here in town. They were under the assumption that if the business was, say they were here and they did all their business, let's say in Alabama County or Indiana or elsewhere, that they didn't have to pay taxes, people taxes.
On those sales.
Correct.
Oh.
They just didn't have to pay that because if their business is here, they can, if they provide what they pay to these other localities, that is deducted from their
yes.
gross amount, but they still have to pay tax. And that is included on the 3 different documents. And that's been also updated on the website along with the planning commission job application. I just had to make sure I put that on 10 weeks ago. So, but I don't know if it's, you can see it or not, someone might be able to check and see.
You know, I want to just bring up a point with it, and it was mentioned in our meeting, that last year it was $50. This from Javier, he sent a letter out, so if we're going down to $30, you know, we're losing money. So I got a letter there, from one of the businesses, so I'm not sure if there's a regulation about $30 or $50.
It's $30.
But how did we get away with that last year? And we did it wrong, they beat it.
I brought that up when I first started in July. So in July or August, during the town council meeting, I notified people that the amount was incorrect and it's based upon, I think.
Okay, so we don't have to, okay.
It's based upon the town being so small, and so the maximum that we can charge is $30.
Okay. So they don't have to, they're not gonna get their money back.
From what she's saying, it doesn't look like we're actually gonna lose money because it's been enforced incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
Over the last however many years.
Oh, okay, so.
And they've just been paying that flat rate, but now even if it's $30, we're gonna be looking into the businesses and seeing what they'll.
Okay.
Well, I guess what their gross is, but I'm not sure how it's done, but
Yeah.
I think that'll be more than the $20 deficit per per business license.
I think enforcement has been missing
Yeah.
in this equation.
That's a state.
So we're glad to have that.
And also, I was sworn in by the treasurer, Donzo. Guess that was in December. Thank you to the chief of police for taking me over there. We got that done.
One hair trip.
Yes. Yes. I think that's basically what I have to say about it.
Okay, any questions on any of what the town administrator has relayed to us? Mr. Whitley.
Oh, I'm sorry, while I was talking about the employees, I thought about this. There's also, currently, or being told, we have a 3% penalty. For people that don't pay the correct amount or pay it all for vehicle. And the maximum that, the state allows is 10% penalty. And, I don't know if 3% is really an incentive, for people to pay, or maybe that, you'll consider the maximum of 10%.
So let's see, now that we're trying to enforce it a little bit harder, let's see if that works. If they don't have the money, they don't have it, you know, whether it's 3 or 10. So it might be just over the course of the next year or two, them knowing that that's the standard, we'll see better payment on those rather than
People are
charging.
really struggling.
That's my point. Yeah, I don't think 10% is going to see any more money forced over.
So that was, also the note.
Okay, Mr. Whitley, anything coming up?
I got nothing on events, just the off season, but I do want to draw people's attention to a possible grant opportunity for the levy. Since I got 30 seconds here, I discussed this with Javier last year, but it was too late when the issue of the levy came up. The town has gotten money out of this before in 2021 with a series of floodplain maps. It's a every year grant from the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation. They give away millions, and it's for Virginia Dam Safety, Flood Prevention, and Protection Assistance Funds. It is coming up. It opens up. It's opened up in December. There is a grant webinar here on the 22nd, and there's also time until March 31st is when the applications have to be submitted. Town has gotten money out of this before. If Scottsville's not the poster child for flood prevention, I don't know what town in Virginia would be. So this is an every year grant. $80,000 is nothing, really. I mean, to us, it's something, you know. But $80,000 when we got $120,000 a few years ago for maps, and there's a list on the site here every year that's been going on since 2017 where we got money out of this. We got money before. We need to be all over this one, probably like a hobo on a ham sandwich, you know. So I'll just pass my phone real quick, and you can take a look at that and take notes or whatever. But that is real money that is awarded every year for. It's right there. Just Google it. Google what I just said. Virginia flood prevention. I will be happy to send out the email, but in the meantime, it's right there on the phone. And I can send out the link to the site as soon as I get back up to the house. But that is a real opportunity for real money. We've gotten money out of it before. And every year we ought to be getting a grant in for something. You know, sandbags.
Seen a lot of deadlines go past.
Well, this one is doable because it's the end of March and there's a webinar on the 22nd
of January
that we can sign up for and attend on how to write the grant.
Do you mind sharing that with us?
I'll email it as soon as I get to the house. That's all I got.
Thank you so much. That is great.
You were here in 21. I see your name on the document there for the grant. When you signed it, sir.
Well,
So
that's awesome.
let's get some money.
That'd be good for
Yeah, forget
Paul's not.
the guy running for Congress.
Bob, towards the town staff presentation.
Yeah.
So let's turn things over to the town administrator and she can start with strategic discussion item A.
Okay, I'm not here to talk about that. I know.
This is a lot of material. Wish I had
Yeah,
it
there's a lot.
before the meeting, just because it's a lot. But I will flow.
I don't see
Let's
what
get
you
on.
talk about legal estate until we really know how much money we got. We haven't had that since 23.
We'll tell you that, the mower is ready to be picked up.
Very nice.
What is-
The mower. And, I think it's tomorrow maybe, or sometime this week.
All right, that's good.
What did it
It's
cost?
not time yet.
I don't know, yeah. Do you know?
No, he's sending me the, invoice. It's coming.
Alright.
Personnel policies is the next on the list.
Yes.
Were we going to talk about, establishing the town council meeting schedule?
That's the.
The organizational meeting? Is it?
No,
That's good.
Elizabeth, would you like to talk about the noise ordinance?
Sure.
Council, if you remember, the last meeting, we had brought forward proposed noise ordinance for the town of Scottsville. The majority of this noise ordinance, I think we discussed it at length at the last meeting.
yeah, I thought we voted on that.
No,
We didn't vote.
Okay.
What we were doing, Ms. Angeline, is the mayor said, given with past history, that we would wait until this work session, see if there was any further discussion
Okay.
needed on it, and carry it over to the public meeting next Monday or
I shouldn't
Tuesday.
have felt
Because
so
Monday.
comfortable about it. I thought you were
I wish.
already running with it.
No, ma'am. I
Okay,
think we have to wait until next Tuesday's meeting.
okay, yeah,
And
absolutely.
then hopefully we'll be able to answer the questions that might be on the town noise ordinance and then hopefully get those on. So any other discussion on it, we can move past it.
I was just gonna, thought about this when I was visiting my daughter in Nevada over Christmas. We went into Henderson. Going into Henderson, there was a sign about the size of this section, this table. No engine brakes, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that'd be nice.
We can get a VDOT sign on all our entrances. You think that would, that's,
I think we will, I'm not sure, if VDOT would, the way the ordinance reads is the town administrator would designate the signs and I agree with you, Mayor, both ends of the town, no Jake brake. Jake brake prohibited, and that would give us the authority to be able to stop.
we used to have a regular ordinance. I think we used to have a regular ordinance.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line it disappeared about ordinance.
I think we thought we were in the clear during COVID, but no.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
No, I would just say thank you, Chief, for creating something with the town attorney, with the administrator that would be helpful to the town. And I'm excited that we can try it. It's anything we do is prone to have some issues, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm thankful for your efforts and I think it will be helpful and it'll be helpful to the town.
Yes, sir. Mr. Whitley,
Yeah,
I'm assuming, do we need to talk any more about that letter that was sent? Or we
No.
good?
I was just forwarding that because the web page doesn't allow attachments. It's a cybersecurity issue, so you don't have a Trojan horse. And our our email addresses, like mine, r.whitley@Scottsville. It's not on the webpage someplace, right?
No.
So the person, Peter, had just asked me to, hey, I got this letter. Would you mind forwarding it on the phone?
There's been a lot.
And I'm out. And
There's
that's
been a
all it
lot
is.
of conversation about the fact that there's no way to contact town council.
Well,
Give an email.
you can click on it and the form opens up. You can just send an email. In that case, it was just the attachment.
Does that come to us?
Mr. Whitley sent the
Yeah,
attachment
yeah.
to everyone.
Yeah, if you open up the form and you send an email, you type it out on the form,
Okay.
it sends the email to, say, my account.
Okay.
It doesn't show that my address, I guess, maybe when you get a receipt or something, r.whitley@scottsville.org, right? But you can't attach an attachment to it because it's a
Yeah.
cyber issue. It's just the way the web page is set
I
up.
totally get it.
Yeah.
And I think that people were looking for that town council at scottsville.org and
Yeah,
not able
but-
to send
So
anything.
maybe if there was a group one, but it still wouldn't fix the attachment issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just, there's.
Or the person could have just written the email without a PDF, but he had it in a PDF. So
I don't know about that. I don't know what he
I sent
was
it.
trying or anything like
Nice,
that, but I think that's
You
something we
did
should.
send it.
I sent it to everyone. Maybe not the fire chief, but everyone that he asked me to, and I'm out. I got no opinion on the letter. I'm just passing along the letter.
So in the attachment, Ms. Angelvine, you sent an email.
I never came to.
I think it was like Monday or
Did you
something.
get the attachment?
It should be an attachment. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's all it is.
I don't know whether we should open this conversation again,
No,
Well, the only
that's
thing
not what I'm asking.
given the fact.
I didn't ask. I
You're
have
not
no
asking.
intention to.
You made that
bring it.
clear,
Good. Good.
okay?
I have talked with
business.
him and I did ask him to maybe attend the public meeting next week. I've gotten responses back to his recommendation and there are things that are already in place.
I thought that, given the fact that a couple of pretty large municipalities have had them removed, they don't want to continue after the initial period that they had them for the 1 year. Charlottesville and Stanford, that's right. Had passed on having them there. I think the thing is that Bob Abbott came to the meeting and he gave some, interesting facts about these flock cameras. And then someone talked to the police chief because he wasn't there. And he told Bob, shut it down. And then came to town council with something from the company saying, none of this is true, none of this is worrisome. But then Charlottesville and Stanton said, I don't want to have anything to do with them. So I'm wondering if we should actually, as a town council, discuss it instead of it being.
Molly, didn't we vote last
We voted
month
last time
to okay the chief,
Oh,
and you voted
you
yes
actually
to go forward with renewing the grant? Didn't we vote on that?
Oh.
And it was unanimous. So why are we bringing it back up?
Okay, Roger.
It's been voted on.
Yeah.
All right, well, then it's a non-issue, but I did kind of think that we didn't get a chance to talk about it
We talked about it.
ourselves.
We discussed it, we voted on it, it was unanimous. You voted for
Oh, okay.
it. So,
We get the votes too.
what's next?
So you can go back to the, personnel policies, I guess.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Whitley. I appreciate the information on that.
Yeah. Everyone's got it. Peter's frequently out of town too, so that's probably why he couldn't be here to speak the other night. Yeah.
Fun, so I think he's good.
Yeah.
But he hopes to be here.
Okay. Yeah, I look forward to seeing him.
See.
Oh, and there's Bob.
So,
Yeah, I was about to flow along there. No, it must have gone down the wrong way. Sorry.
And what are we talking about now?
Okay, we're talking about updating personnel policies and the way you handle. To add section 10.11 to the appendices. 3.1. Page 1.
And,
Yeah, the resolution, it says, there's a resolution that needs.
Oh,
It's right behind.
Okay.
it should have been corrected before your noise.
Right, I got resolution.
So, just to point out, there's a new section that, I'm proposing to be added that talks about employee termination. And also, a section 10.11 on resignations and appointments, regarding the planning commission and the ARB. I'm not gonna read this verbatim, but, anyways, updating the previous, policies from October 21st, 2024.
So these are updated state codes.
They're updated, and then one of them is, the new section 10.11. Spells out, resignations and appointments, and that's beyond the planning commission and the ARB.
But that's just repeating the policy you already have. as well.
Right, right. So there's no change to that. The policy that's already in place.
I haven't compared the two, but I think there might be some word changes, but the sense of it is the.
Okay.
Correct.
Good.
Yeah, but there's a new section, but it includes that information.
Yeah.
We'll have that.
What's the new section?
10.11. In chapter 10, employee termination, in 10.11 talks specifically about resignations and appointments, the planning commission and the ARB.
But that was in the old resignation policy too.
Okay, well, I'm not sure it was real clear, but. So the word is.
The word might change a little bit. The sense of it's still the same. What I'm trying to get at.
And then. The required updates, went on to page 4. And I know Jim, we and I talked about this before, and maybe you can weigh in here. The non-compete agreement provision, this was something that came from new for July 1st, 2025, the Virginia Code. And it's suggesting adding a new section. And it talks about the proposed policy language that is a requirement for us to meet regulations. And then the required update on number 2. Our existing personnel policy doesn't specify Virginia's minimum wage rate, and apparently that is also a requirement. January 1st, 2025, the Virginia Code requires that. And it says update section 7 of our policy to include Virginia's current minimum wage and note that it adjusts annually. And then the required update, this is also January 1st, 2025. Technical classes for the employment. And our policy lists protected characteristics, but does not include ethnic origin, which was added as a protected class effective January 1st, 2025. Anyway, so the whole document, it shows you what it does, why it matters, and is it for Scottsville.
So we'll just need to vote on this next week.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other item that I had mentioned the last time it was there, and Councilman Mason had asked to see the old version and the new version. So on this document, it's called Rules Procedure with Proposed Changes. And it is bold and black and says proposed addition, and that's where I'm proposing that we update.
Okay, what page are we on?
This is
Please.
one, page one, everything's page one.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
the document is called rules of procedure of the proposed.
It's
So it should be directly after you're going for the next.
it's after
Yeah.
7 and 8.
Okay, so next time I will just make the number of the pages.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that I wasn't with you, but I kept going.
Yes, yes, I.
Well, and we did change them.
Totally.
Okay.
So rules of procedure, the proposed changes, again, the proposed addition is bold and in italics. Where any change is added. And it also talks about and this I had talked to our attorney about not having the need to, well, you don't have to, if something's already been approved on the budget, you don't have to get permission from town council. That is spelled out more clearly. And also this is the new section is section I, which talks about guest speakers and presentations. You don't have anything like that currently. And so this goes into advance notice required. And that just helps, I think, for us to be prepared, for me to be prepared, and then I could share you the information if I know, like, we're gonna have a speaker come in and they wanna talk about a certain thing, that we're all on board and we know what's going on and not. Anyway, so that's what that section I is news. And it talks about advance notice required information with in the affected departments, speakers from outside the town, public forum. And it establishes clear protocols for guest speakers. Then the record keeping, it's just renumbered. It's already what we have, but it's just renumbered. And then I provided a chart if you don't like it that way. This is the changes. You can see it in a chart that goes over this.
Something like this, I would love to have it in advance so that I would know what we could discuss about it. You know what I'm
We could
saying?
discuss it now. Yeah, but you haven't had a chance to read it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all okay. I'm just trying to
Right,
put
right.
that out there as something that.
This document was provided in December. It just wasn't, I mean, in this whole entirety, it was provided. But like I said, Councilman Heisen asked that it be easier to read, so that's why I added it.
Well,
The one that's really confusing to me, maybe you could explain, give
I
an
must have
example.
asked, yeah.
Section F for voting. About new expenditures not otherwise provided for the current fiscal year. Or transfer between budget line items or kind of funds such as expenditure. What does that mean about transferring money? And I don't understand that one at all. It seems confusing. What does that mean with that?
So, I'm sorry.
New expenditure, so this is in the budget, so can you give an example of what would that look like or how that would work? The F voting for expenditures and authorization. I know we get for $500, we gotta get approval, but this one says like it's getting around or whatever. New expenditures not otherwise provided when the current fiscal years or for transfers between budget items. In other words, if you don't spend it on something, you can transfer it to something else, or I don't know.
No, I'm saying such action must be documented.
Oh, when you do, if you do
Yeah.
transfer, you can't transfer it.
It must be documented
Oh, okay,
by posting using the town's standard expenditure authorization.
okay,
And it's gotta be signed by the mayor or presiding
okay.
officer. So this is, I'm just trying to.
Okay, so we have a certain,
Document,
that's it, you can't use it for something else.
right,
Without permission, okay,
yes.
okay.
So the mayor just has to sign it. It doesn't come to town council.
The form,
We just have to sign for them. You have to vote on it.
Still, yeah.
it's, after the vote, the mayor would sign it, but it's after the vote. But then.
I got you. Well, that's all I need. No, thank you.
Okay. And, if we want to talk about the meeting,
Are we talking about the Nebraska power plant next?
Save that for last.
Okay, so the meeting calendar is the next.
so I sent earlier in last week, I guess it was, talking about possibly changing the meeting, well, the mayor and I were talking about the first and the third or the second and fourth.
Well, isn't that supposed to be done at the town council meeting, that whole discussion and everything like that? I mean, instead of a work session? Shouldn't that?
Well, do you wanna know about it, what the proposals are? Because then next week, you
No.
got, or in 2 weeks, you vote. If you-
Next week, we would vote on that, where we can talk about it and discuss it next week. I mean, I think that should be public discussion instead of just, not
Really?
here.
So,
Well, I mean,
okay, so
what-
we are the 12th of January. Right, I think that we have to figure this out, like
Yeah.
when you're gonna have meetings and. because
Right.
Normally, the next meeting is gonna fall on a holiday.
Right.
So what I included in your packet here called council meeting schedule change information handout. Is talking about that we have it on the first Monday, the session, and following Monday is the regular session. And I thought that we had talked about this in December, that sometimes it's just tough for us to
Right.
turn around in a week and be trying to do the
Yeah.
next meeting.
I think it's a good change, but the first Monday of the month is planning commission.
But the problem, the second and fourth would work good, because as Molly points out, if the planning commission meets the first Monday and it happens to be a holiday, and they get bumped to Tuesday.
Go
then
to
you got
Tuesday,
council
yeah.
and Planning commission scheduled for the same
I
time,
know.
same place,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So.
No,
That
I,
is a possible.
I realize that.
There's different scenarios here.
Oh, no, I did see that. That's good. I just wanted to.
I would like to
Remind
speak on that.
everybody.
I thought about this, and I just want y'all to know where I'm coming from, what I think of. I really believe separating it out 2 weeks I believe it's a positive thing. Giving us more time to review the
Read all
stuff
this.
and everything back to back. The other thing is just, what I would like to suggest, and I think it's a good idea, this is the work session, and technically we could sit here and talk about the purpose of the work session, is to discuss things, so that way, when it does come to the town council meeting, we can vote on it. From my observation for the last year or so, there are some items that we come across and we deal with the town council, we bring it up. Oh, well, let's move that to the next meeting. And I've seen in numerous times things that keep going, get pushed and pushed and pushed. And it takes 1.5 to 2 months, 2.5 months to deal with something. So my suggestion is highly go for the 2 week thing, give us time to think about it. But instead of having a work session and a town council session, let's just have 2 town council sessions. The reason I say that is, in a work session, our constituents cannot come and speak to us. They can't say anything. Not everybody can make that one meeting. So if we make ourselves more available and allow the public to come in, we have 2 town council meetings, the public can come talk to us. We can vote on things that night instead of saying, well, you know what? If somebody comes up and says something, okay, fine, thank you, we'll take it in consideration, all right, then we wait 2 weeks. We got the work session, we're gonna talk about it then we gotta wait another week, so.
Can we
We're talking
just-
about putting things off.
Can we just?
I think if we have
incorporate-
2 town council sessions, we can get things done faster, to the spot, and stop dragging stuff out. That's just the way I look at it. I've had a lot of people complain to me, say, you know what, the town council, y'all just take forever to get something done.
Yeah,
So-
kind of the nature of it.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I feel about it, but I really think that, I don't think we're required by law to have a work session and a town council session. We can just have 2 town council sessions, that way constituents can speak at every meeting. It may encourage our town residents to be here. I mean, look here, we only got one person back here right now.
And he's part of the
And
meeting.
so, if we have
But people are online.
open things, we can get a whole lot more people in, you get more input.
Well, it's why.
How many people got online too?
Solutions, because getting the word out to everybody is not just, the newspaper. I think it would be great to have more communications.
We just incorporate a public forum during our work session.
Or could we just have a work session and then a town council and just have them all in one meeting a month and just have a longer meeting?
It's already long enough. Good grief.
They usually end up at midnight. I'm like, what?
Is that right?
Alex's suggestion,
Let me-
if we, I don't know where it's written that we can't have public comment during, and we have had it before when something was relevant, so if we just opened up the work session to include public comment on items on the agenda or items not on the agenda.
And also, it's not stopped anybody from raising their hand and talking during the work session. And I think as a council, we've been pretty open to that as well.
Yeah,
But I like the idea of public forum. I think your point is correct. I think people need to be able to talk even at the work session. But I think you will find, and I might just be the bad luck charm for the council. The years I've been here, it's been busy. But I think in the past, and I think hopefully where we're gonna head to in the future is we don't have the quantity of votable stuff coming towards us to have 2 voting meetings during a month. I think it would help to get stuff done faster
Is there
in theory, but I think the quantity of stuff, I think it would just reverse where our first meeting would be, we would vote for everything, and then our second meeting of the month would end up being a work session because everything's already voted on.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, just to.
Suggestion.
Can we change things where we can vote on stuff in a work session, or is it required by law to do?
That would be a work session.
Let me chime in here. I've been quiet on this. I think what you're suggesting is a very bad idea, first of all. And I understand your desire for quickness, but that's not wise in terms of government. Government, we need to make sure as we make decisions, there's very few things that we have to do that have to quickly happen over the reason you have a dialogue is you want to get in, we want to have a place where we talk. And then we want to have a place where we can act, and we really need to do both. We need to have an opportunity to both dialogue as a council on processes that come in. For example, at this issue, having been on the council many years, we've had this conversation many, many times about how should we meet, when should we meet? And honestly, I think we should stay the same way we are. However, I think it's more a consensus of what we want to do. We want to make sure that townspeople understand whatever we're going to do. It makes sense to them. That's why I've always been fairly strong on staying the way that we are, because it makes sense. However, if we change when we meet, and that's fine, but the structure of how we meet, that there is a time that we plan and that there is a time that we then debate and actually vote, things should take time. And it's true, government is, I think it'd be very unwise for us to come in and vote and come in and vote and come in and vote. That just means that we're not taking due diligence into really understanding policy. I honestly think it's a horrible idea that we would go and come in and vote. We should have opportunity to vote, dialogue, and then we should have opportunity to over time vote. Again, I don't like long meetings. I don't like things that take time, but there's wisdom to get ideas, get input from public, understand what's going on, and then coming up with an opportunity to vote on things.
Or maybe we as the town council to try to work a little bit more, address the issues and stop trying to drag them out.
I
And,
agree
you know,
with you that
just-
things have been delayed,
You're right.
and put
I
off
agree.
to the
I
next
agree.
meeting. So that was the past. I think we can work towards being a little bit more efficient.
I agree.
And with the 2 week notice, it's been brought up before. It appears that the town of Scottsville, the town council, we've been in violation of the FOIA Act quite often. So this here will prevent us from getting into that stuff, give us time to get that stuff out.
Why are we in
So-
violation? I didn't know we were in violation.
And notice like, add stuff to the agenda, public notice, you have to do it so many days. Well, if you have a meeting today, you wanna get it, let's just say you think
Oh, you
about
can't
it.
add anything? You sure? I thought you could add stuff. You could change it.
Before.
Is that true?
Agreed to, right?
You can add stuff, it's an emergency or new matter.
New matter, yeah. I think you could add stuff to the agenda. I don't think you have to.
But you have to, then when you do it, you have to give notice and put it on the website.
Okay.
And
I don't have a website.
wherever the public right is in the office.
How many days?
It depends, I mean, you're in the business, if you got something that comes up an hour before, you do it, and it has to be presented, and action needs to be done, then you bring it before town council. You don't sit there and say, well, we can't do that because it just came up, even though if we don't do something, we're gonna get in
Because we've
trouble.
done that often.
But primarily, the agenda has to be put on the
That's right,
website.
that's the rule, but there are exceptions.
Right, so the general rule is 3 days, right?
Right,
3 days, not counting the day of the meeting.
Right. But if something comes up and you feel it's urgent, you could put it on there.
it's in the category of an emergency.
Or just, what if you just forget?
Unexpected matter, pardon me?
What if it's just, you forget, it didn't, it's supposed to be on the agenda, but it didn't get on the agenda. Can you just say, by the way, this was supposed to be
It
on?
depends upon what it is and how urgent it is.
Oh, okay.
It's a rule of common sense here.
Yeah.
But the bottom line rule is that you need to have 3 days notice, by and large, you've been doing that.
Yeah.
Now,
So
not
that's
for your work sessions, but for your regular meetings.
So 3 days that has to be posted by Thursday, right?
No.
Friday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, so it's gotta be by Wednesday. We've never had the agenda on Wednesday. We've always had it Thursday or Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
What's that?
It's,
Agendas are the regular meeting.
Is Thursday.
So-
Wednesday.
Well,
Wednesday.
that's actually a really good point because.
That's
if-
new then, that's new. Because
Well-
wait.
Well, that's actually a really good point, though, is just to go back to what we were saying before. If we're having or a regular monthly meeting, it allows that to happen. If you're switching to two regular, in a sense, two regular
Right.
meetings, that's a whole different thing. So first of all, it would enable us to have a pattern. And I think the other angle of it is whatever we do in terms of y'all want to do Tuesdays or Mondays or whatever, it just needs to make sure that everybody understands it in the community. That's the main thing, is people understand what we're doing.
I'm more of a fan of the week separation.
Which is 1 week separation?
I know.
I'm saying
like a second,
adding
fourth.
a
Yeah,
continuing
like-
section and fourth,
I like that.
rather than changing the
I like
day.
that too, like.
I mean, I was on my fourth or fifth year on
I like
council now.
Thursdays, I like.
And every year this comes up and every year there's other stuff, and I don't mind changing, I'm available. But generally speaking, it always comes back to the Mondays. And sometimes it's because other bodies that meet here and other, things like that, but generally comes. But I do like the idea of the 2 week
Yeah.
gap in there.
I think there's a consensus you all have of the 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And again,
If I could make a motion, I
well, you would, so first of all, there seems to be a consensus. Do you all like the Monday? I'm sorry, first, third, second,
Let's
fourth?
Second.
Second, fourth.
I think we should just discuss that and
Well-
vote on it next week.
well,
I don't
it's
think we
not-
should vote this week.
No, we can't.
We're not
We
moving.
can't.
So no, we're just talking. We're just trying to talk it through a little bit. So,
So rubber stamp it for next week. just-
well,
okay.
I don't like it. I'll say it this way. I would rather keep it on Monday, and I'm totally willing
Yeah.
to drop it based on consensus. So there's a consensus already of people wanting to change it. And I'm saying I'm willing to do whatever.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand what the consensus is.
Oh,
What-
and
Well, it seems like everybody like 2 weeks, and one of the other
Yeah.
reasons brought up, is if you look at the email that explained to it that certain holidays, federal holidays fall in on the Monday.
Only
That's
one.
how it is.
yeah,
Sometime by moving it to Tuesday, that means all of our meetings will be able to be held in place. And we won't have to go through the trouble, okay, well, we got this holiday here, so we're gonna have to move this, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
change
right.
this. To keep everything smooth. It's just trying to make things work out smoother, I mean.
I've got Monday Night Football too.
Show me a
But
schedule.
I
that
do
wouldn't
we
have
have
a
a good
conflict.
response to that.
Show me a schedule that wouldn't have a conflict with something and cause some
Right.
sort of issue. And if you talk about federal holidays, the only one that really is gonna come up is on an annual basis, MLK Day. It's one day.
Yeah.
What other holiday comes in on Monday?
Labor
Maybe,
5.
Labor Day.
Which
Memorial
one?
Day.
That affect, we don't take George Washington. Memorial Day's at the end of the month.
Yeah.
We don't take Yorktown Victory Day.
It's only-
Never even heard of that one. And
Oh, I think we
for
just
a
changed
town
the name.
council meet, what is that? Columbus Day?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're right, there's not that many.
Here, could be here anyway. Right. So it's Monday or Tuesday, but I was just trying to.
Sorry,
Take a day off.
I come from the corporate side. I don't recognize most of those holidays.
Oh.
What day is Navy Day?
Navy Day, there is no Navy Day.
I'm giving you
There's no
Navy Day.
Navy birthday. That's a Marine
As far
Corps
as
Day.
the organizational meeting, that should.
Trying to
should
give
we,
you something right here.
Should we just do that at the beginning of the next meeting, or do you want to just have a special meeting? I do think we need organization to really look at other things besides just the times we meet. I think we need to look at, the vice mayor and also the.
We picked a vice mayor.
The committee, well, yes, to do it again. Yes,
Good luck.
again.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then also.
Introduce yourself.
Whether we want to
That
keep
Board
this
of
committee
The
Supervisors.
whole
going.
campaign thing.
Let's know about you.
How about, my suggestion would be, let's say we do that. Let's just do it in the next work session, which is then next month, which is.
No,
Oh my
no,
God.
no, it's required it's required.
No.
No. He's talking about, not this stuff. I'm talking about whatever he wants to add.
No, I'm talking about the business,
With that.
Whatever he wants to add
The
to.
annual meeting.
the annual meeting. It's an organization. It should be.
No, whatever's already on the slate, we'll cover the slate. Whatever the
No,
big
if you
plate.
want to kick.
No,
that
I
one-
thought we were
that's the
talking about the
problem.
days of the meeting
Oh.
and I was like, what?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So I did want to mention that I am in favor of keeping it like it is and taking the town council session to, the 4th Monday. If we're all comfortable with the way it is now,
I'm happy.
you're not happy. Okay. Well, what I'm saying is I think that is a good way to go. It keeps us pretty stable in what we're used to. Did you say that Tuesday would be easier for you all?
I said, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Throughout.
Okay.
I was trying to provide options like.
No, I know that. That was helpful. That was very helpful. Okay.
Okay, can we move on to ARB notification?
I'm still working on something to draft for that. And then I'll have to send it over to Jim and make sure I'm not writing in some foreign language. And then I'll bring it before council. I don't see a rush on that as far as timeline. And then I don't have to be with the ARB to do that. So I'll meet with Josh as well to make sure the ARB is comfortable with it.
Okay, so we move to the vacancy in office.
So as you all are aware, we have a vacancy for a town clerk. So we need to advertise for that position. We also have a vacancy for a farmer's market manager. We need to advertise for that position.
I don't know if we need, to me, I don't know if we need a farmer's market position. I wouldn't mind.
Oh my
A
God.
lot of people, a lot of farmers markets, the farmer market, they run their own farmer market.
So you talk to anybody that's been a farmer's market manager here, they will tell you you need a manager.
If you want them to come over
Right.
here,
Right,
Yeah.
I'm saying.
you know,
The
you
market.
could do that.
Start
but
the-
no.
market
Start
manager.
the arguments over stalls, and
That's
Oh,
all
all
it's
of
a
the-
lot.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
whole
lot.
thing down there.
But they
Yeah.
could get together themselves and elect somebody.
Oh, hun. No.
It's a paid position from the town.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, I don't know if you have to be that way.
You're not gonna get anybody that you're not gonna do it. Nobody's just a volunteer to do
Ain't
that.
nobody's not gonna do all that work.
Debbie Smith
Yeah, for
Debbie
nothing, yeah.
Smith did
I'm
that.
so sorry. I'm not in agreement with you.
Debbie Smith did that for you.
We had such
Yeah.
a good one last year.
Let's advertise
We
for those two
did.
positions,
And
please.
drove her away.
Really?
Well.
Well, we'll
I'll
talk.
try to navigate this in a way that is, I don't know if there's any I don't know, not FOIA stuff, but appropriate employment discussion. If, for example, one of those positions had a top prospect that people were happy with, do we have to advertise still for that position?
Yeah, I ran that.
Can we
by-
choose a method of advertisement that is perhaps cheaper than the online job stuff that tends to be expensive?
Just have to put it on the website, don't we?
Yeah, you just, that very little between all of that.
Yeah.
But we actually need somebody good.
If we know
Why?
somebody that's really doing a good job.
Do you have a candidate
Submit
in
their
mind?
application.
I'm not saying anything.
Do you have some more like relatives or anything?
We have a vacant positions link on our website. I don't know who uses it or if what, but I mean, you could advertise it there.
Well, she,
Right.
Let's get those two to advertise.
Mr. Bowling, we'd be happy to hire you for that position.
do you put together committees for new hires? Like for,
Sometimes.
The committee for.
so
Council interviews.
you interview?
And basically, you have.
I'd like to be
Hold on,
Financial.
Now, farmers.
And without those financial reports, you folks are in the blind. And that causes post problems, and if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't want to be in the blind. Cause one of the most important things you do is manage the town finance.
Yeah.
And so, and this is not a reflection on town administrator, because the town clerk was doing that, and she has a ton of other things that she hasn't has to have been doing. But without that, those financial things, you're the dog. And that can lead to a whole host of problems. And one of the things that those financial reports do is show you when your tax revenue stop coming in appropriately. And there's a whole bunch of them there.
Yeah.
So that's something you need to be thinking about, choosing down.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we
But I think we
don't
should-
have the actualized numbers since 2022. And so, you know, we gotta find out.
That's incorrect.
Well, I haven't seen them.
Well, because you've had, all this.
I know, but we always get these financial reports about projected and not actual, they're just.
Well, the audit is, Mr. Hines, the audit is the actual.
The audit is the actual.
But then you've been receiving ever since I've been here, every day, you get a little financial report, plays out this, that, and the other. And
We haven't gotten that report, no.
well, you got it every month up until
Yeah, right, so we haven't had it in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that things will settle out, just not right now. We don't have enough staff to take care of that.
But that's pretty important, I think.
It is important.
I think you'll see that when the QuickBooks is settled and they're functioning at a level that is beyond what it was a little while ago, I think it'll be able to print out reports
Yeah.
without staff attention to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the goal that you guys are working towards, right?
Yeah, because you guys are right in the middle of a reconciliation by someone outside the office. So you have to wait on.
But when QuickBooks is up and running, I think it'll be able to just
Yeah.
push out a profit and loss.
When do you think that?
Hopefully soon.
Oh, really?
A lot faster if I had actually anything to do with
Have you
it, but
done-
I refuse to be helpful. Sometimes
Oh, my God. What?
It'd be great, it's good to know exactly where we at.
I do not know, but I would assume probably sooner rather than later.
Okay, Madam Administrator, what else?
I didn't think of limit, I was just.
That's good.
Basically about, appointing the town clerk, that the town council. Reviews applicant, can review applications, get involved, set aside. You wanna hire.
Yeah, I would, as quickly, most people will here, if you need to, decide on which one qualification. They would have, start the process.
Well,
It shouldn't take you long to figure that out.
no, but it's not commiserate with the amount of money we have budgeted.
Of course it never is.
I know it never is.
Yeah.
Right, but we can't require any kind of accounting degree or anything like that.
No. For,
through the on-the-job training.
you don't say far, you say.
Oh,
you-
prefer.
Desired.
Yeah,
Desired.
Document started
Yeah.
with, talks about responsibilities of the two.
yeah,
What would be nice if they had it, and I took that from the existing town charter. Because it spells out the, responsibilities.
Well, good.
Responsibilities, I looked at the previous job,
So I was thinking we have a cutoff date of the January 31st. Next work session in February, we can start going through the applicants and then vote on something for February council meeting.
if you all have anybody that you could approach or talk to about being a volunteer or filling positions and things like that. I'm just saying it out loud.
the one thing that I have put in the, requirements this time is that, that someone's gonna have to have a background check. Run a background check, which is.
That was funny.
Done that.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Make sure.
No, that's good.
Say something. Credit.
There's two.
Yes,
Credit and also credit.
yeah. I agree with that.
Once they give you permission for that.
Right.
Permission, get it.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't even get permits without getting.
Right.
Credit report on the little side.
There's two things I'd like to see with the town clerk, which was lacking from the last one. And first of all, to be able to do minutes, do minutes regularly, do all the minutes, for all the major organizations like the ARB, the planning commission and the town council. And the second is to be able to manage a website. Those are two really important features. The website is so outdated and not kept up, and maybe we don't have to have a website, but if we have one, I think we should try to.
Well,
get
they're
it up to
definitely
speed.
looking to change that.
What's that?
They're
Yeah,
definitely working.
definitely, but that would be something that a town clerk should be able to do, and I think there's so much work to be done, and besides some finance things, but the website and the minutes, you were talking about the minutes for, when I was on the planning commission, I never did minutes. The town administrator did
That's
minutes all
something
the
in the
time.
past. I don't even want to talk about.
I know you don't want, but ARB, who does the minutes for ARB? Nobody does, so there's no minutes for ARB, there's no minutes for planning.
I think they are necessary, but.
They are necessary, I think they're required, but.
They are required,
But-
yeah, but I'm saying, my opinion.
Yeah.
And the other thing is posting the videos. We don't have any of these videos posted.
Those were not required, by the way.
That's not required.
They're not required for
Do we even
posting,
need
but they
those?
are
Maybe
required.
we should get rid of these videos.
Right.
I'm fine with getting rid of videos for
Okay.
everybody. Because they were videotaping some of the commission meetings. way back.
Some people asking me about the videos, I'm not gonna say anything, but they're helpful to me too. And I've asked for a couple, I hadn't.
I just
got-
want to say one thing. I understand your point about the minute stuff being put out. It does make sense. But again, the minutes have been put out in the past. We've had members of the town council bring it right back up. Information right in front of them. And they just sit there and say, well, what about? It's been handed. I've gotten the same thing y'all gotten. I've gotten the emails and everything. So I mean, it's a lot of extra work to do some of that stuff.
It
But I
is.
mean, if it's absolutely required in order for somebody to do it, then so be it. But if not, then I don't know. I mean, maybe we should start putting trust in our liaison for each committee they're in, instead of having everybody having the fingers and everything. Just an idea.
That's a
I don't
well
think I
said, well
understood
said.
that one.
All right, this,
Okay,
Tenaska Power Plant in Fluvanna deal. I was approached by a former council member who is concerned about this, power plant. And if you go Google Tenaska Power Plant Fluvanna, you can read everything that's been in the Fluvanna review about the project. And then the reason I asked you to do this is then we can discuss whether we want to support Fluvanna's council or in one way, or to let Fluvanna's council that we do not support this project. Just,
So that's the only action we have to take.
yeah, just,
Yeah.
we don't have to do it, you know.
I don't think there's
The
anything else
project's
we
not
can
gonna
do.
affect the town of Scottsville one way or the other.
Yeah.
From my understanding, they just want to expand on the original thing.
Oh.
And if you go to Lake Monticello, they've added all the new buildings and everything. So basically, they're just trying to increase their size so they can increase the output of electricity. That's where it's been at.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
so they can put a data
that's
center.
the point.
So I'm going to recuse myself of any discussion with this since I work for Dominion Energy, and that's probably a big customer for those guys. Only thing I'll say is the place I believe does have a Scottsville mailing address. So, maybe
I
that's
just
why
promised this for.
Scottsville carried some weight, but I'm out. I have nothing to add or discuss.
I think that I'm most impacted by the environmental and the health aspects of this. I don't, I never know if all of this is kind of like official or whatever, but I'm trusting that some of these studies that they've done showing that the impact of what is it? Okay, they're wanting to add 1.5, what? Is it like? Do you know the gigawatts?
I think that.
Or
Is
electricity.
that Back to the Future?
Right. But we forget that.
But you know what I'm saying? They're adding 1.5 their size
But
to it.
part of Scottsville is in Fluvanna, so we should have some sort of
Well,
information
it's
about what's
close
going on
to-
there.
Maybe
Yeah.
use this as a kind of how we do a meeting with Albemarle County. We never meet with Fluvanna or even talk to them, so it might be a
Yeah.
good segue and
I
it
might put
builds
it-
a
No, me too.
relationship with that.
I was thinking of going to the meeting tomorrow just to find out what's going on. They're having a big
I'm
public hearing
going.
tomorrow.
I'm
Are
going
you gonna go?
tomorrow. Mhm.
It would be worth, and it'd be good for them to come to present to us, because we're part of Fluvanna too.
I don't think this has happened without us, but I think that our input could make an impact. I think it is definitely related to our town because we are in close proximity
Very close.
to this power plant.
Those of you, since you're gonna go to the meeting, maybe you could come back and bring information.
Bring it.
I'd be glad to do that.
Bring
I'm
it to the
gonna-
meeting.
I'm gonna write minutes while I'm there. No,
So we'll have it on the agenda next week just to discuss whether we want to do anything.
I would love that. I
Perfect.
think that all we can do is say, we support you, whatever you do, or we're not in favor of this because of our people.
We either support the project or we don't support it.
Yeah,
Or we don't
Exactly.
think it doesn't matter.
we could not say anything too, but I hope that we will. My opinion is obvious, I think, but we all have different opinions.
So have we covered everything?
Mhm.
One more thing, I just want to put out there, I sent an email to you all, I forwarded, an email from, I think it was Cardinal News. But it's concerning the upcoming, legislation that is most likely gonna, approve the sale of weed. So, anyway, Rocky Mountain, which is right, it's that we drive through there, they have a church, anyway, they are, having a public meeting tomorrow. And inviting their citizens to come and talk about whether they are in support of weed sales or not. But the article I was reading, it looks like, because, what was her name, Abigail Spanberger, she won, and she's already said previously that she would, approve. Yeah, so just to put that out there, to have that on
So-
your radar, that
Yeah, so I've been talking about this for a year, with the last governor vetoing the two bills that were passed by the legislature, that would regulate the sales. Whether you want sales or not, they're already happening in the town.
Yeah,
So it's a matter of being able to tax them.
yes.
And so there's been framework that was passed in those bills to tax not only weed, I don't know the terms, but weed, but also vape products that have
THC.
yes, THC. Now, go down to some of your local convenience stores here and peruse the counters, right? What is what? I don't know. I was the most drug tested person for 30 years in the Navy. So, I'm sure we could find some subject matter experts in Scottsville. But,
Well,
but.
you can't throw
but-
a rock.
For those,
But there's that bill is coming and the framework for taxing that and localities being able to do that is going to be in that bill.
Yeah.
That's what we need to pay attention to.
And it's come to the town.
Yes, yes,
That's
just
great.
like your cigarette tax does, it would come to this town.
Mhm.
Now, paying taxes at the current, as I understand it from talking to the good folks who run the food business, the only tax they pay right now is sales tax. So they can get fined by the weed police, version of the ABC kind of for weed, but they really only pay sales tax right now, so.
Yeah, that's correct. If there's legislation that allow for that, for tax on that product, but it will.
Yes, there is.
There is,
Yes.
so they'll pass the,
It's just been waiting for our governor to sign it. They won't veto it. Meanwhile, it's an unregulated drug industry all over.
Yeah.
Well, they'll switch their product if it becomes to actual THC.
I have no idea what they'll do to the product.
That's how they're getting around it right
Yeah.
now, is that it's a different
About,
chemical structure.
Yeah, so
about 5 or 6 years ago, we had a firm out of Florida that wanted to buy the tire plant to have an indoor marijuana production. Yeah.
Huh.
And they ended up,
They about the amount of money that was on it.
we ended up deciding we were too far from the interstate and they needed to be more towards Richmond, so that's
Yeah.
where it ended up being, but,
That would have been a nice solution.
yeah, that would have been.
all right, anything else? Thank you all.
thank you.
Thank you.